Hey everybody, welcome to the Wombo podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, the Mr. Gimpy, drinking a nice cold, no I'm kidding, it's very hot cup of joe right now with the one, the only, Combo Wombo champion,
You stumbled there, bro.
I fucked up.
That,
Keep it going.
That hot coffee kept you like in a hazard mode. You're like,
I had it planned out, and I fucked up.
It took you a moment to realize like how hot that coffee was. You're like, oh shit. You're like, this is dangerous. This is.
I was gonna take a sip of it, and then I'm like, this is burning my hand, and I'm holding it by the handle.
Yeah, you're like, if I drop this is gonna spill everywhere. So it'll be
all
disaster.
over my keyboard.
Yeah,
but Chip, what's up, bro? It's been about 6 hours since we spoke.
Yeah, man, I've just been drinking protein drinks and energy drinks. So.
Yeah. You already work out this morning then?
No. I just barely woke up, bro. I just rolled out of bed. I don't know. To have like a 4-day weekend I took, so
hell yeah.
I've had too much time to just sit around and think as you do. So
I do love having that time myself, bro.
I've heard chess grandmasters burn 4,000 calories just thinking. So maybe I don't have to work out today. I don't know. Who knows?
I guess, man, that makes sense.
No, that's probably gonna go down there and get to the weight room, I guess.
did I just bully you into it? Just by
you cyber bullied me. You're like,
right?
Hey, you still doing that workout thing? Yeah, kind of. Shit. Now that you mention it,
I was gonna say you like you were grinding super hard on the workout train for quite a bit. Where the snaps you were sending were basically. You were the only person doing anything like of note in life. Everyone else is just like, here's my cat that I have. Like, there's your cat, I guess. So good shit.
I feel like it's just try and keep myself motivated more than anything. I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably. Because then people ask questions like, hey man, did you go to the gym today? I'm like, shit. That's right.
It's like this podcast and working on our games, just like, hey, did you work on that game? Fuck.
I was actually gonna boot up Unity this weekend, and the thought has been reward enough. As I'm like, damn, I should probably get into it, start messing around a bit. So I've come to like a weird crossroads where in my head I'm like, I'm 90% sure I want to buy like a new laptop at this point.
Yeah.
And like real soon, like within like the next 2 weeks, I'm thinking I'll probably pick something up.
Okay, it is super soon.
Yeah, because there's been a pretty decent deals on it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, whatever. I got the VR headset. I was really happy with that. I feel like if I pick up my new laptop, I'll probably be happy with that.
Yeah,
because because the higher end graphics cards are now available again, like in stores.
Yes,
but there's still like a ridiculous upcharge on them where they're like $800-900 from the store now. The store was like, what if we just rose the price instead of letting all the secondhand people do it? So they've been doing that shit. And I'm like looking at that, I'm like, man, for another couple $100, I just get my laptop instead of, because like at this point, if I just got the graphics card, I realize I'm gonna have to upgrade everything else anyway. It's gonna be a fresh PC at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to do a fresh PC, I should just get a laptop at this point in my life. I just need something more compact,
That makes sense. Yeah, man. Yeah. So with the laptop purchase, are you still planning on upgrading your PC at some point? I know like chipset.
No, I think I'm done at that point, bro.
Really?
Okay, I'm gonna
that's huge.
Like, I feel like the technology's gotten to the point where I can get a laptop with the 3070 in it, which seems like, if I want to spend like 7 or 8, I think they said it's about from the 3060 to the 3070, it's about a 40% price jump, but you get a 40% improvement. And then from like the 3070 to the 3080, it's like another $800 on top of that, but you don't get like $800 worth of a performance boost. But I can't tell if that's just nobody's optimized for the higher end graphics cards at this point, because like it doesn't make sense that pound for pound, like these cards would get run over. But like if you're just doing hard workstation stuff, which I do a lot of, which is like 3D rendering, video encoding, music encoding, I mess with like a DAW station. I got my
Yeah.
Fruity Loops. I got so like latency's an issue. Like even like I've been using like the Oculus. So if I plug that into the PC, I want that USB-C native port on there. Like most old ass desktops don't have that. Like, so I don't know. It just seems like 3070s like a pretty good price, right? Like you can get them for like 1100, 1500 right now, which
Right.
the only thing messing me up is like Intel decide to like do some fuckery with their naming schemes and scams. So so it's hard to like tell which AM or Intel has like a good like what graphics processor works best with like their CPU chipset, like because they decided to like shimmy in their old chipsets with like their newer boards. So like you could get something with like a good graphics card but like a horrible CPU, so it's like not taking full advantage. But
Right.
they seem to be
Right.
priced accordingly. So that's the issue I'm facing, dude.
You bring that up at a great time. So Intel doing this was purely because of the chipset shortage, excuse me, and the people came out and said, I think it was Linus Tech Tips, those guys who came out and said, why the hell is Intel doing this? But it's purely so you can have a laptop and not pay out the ass for it.
Yeah.
Um,
You're still paying out the ass for them, dude.
you're still
Like,
paying out the ass, but it's like a little less than what it was, because at the height of the chipset shortage and the pandemic and everything else, the markup on laptops, which is already high, was, I believe, 20% higher on average. So absolutely insane. And I would say like that's a pretty big thing for you to just kind of decide on a laptop, and I get it. Um, just as as not only your friend, but just a person who has gone that route previous. Are you worried about in like 3 years, like when it's about time to upgrade, your laptop's going to lag far behind, and you're just going to
yeah,
go desktop again, or do you think the prices will kind of stabilize? So what's your thoughts?
it's hard to tell, dude. Like, it's I don't have a crystal ball. Like, I don't know. I blame like listening to all these damn children like on your tiki talks or whatever, where they're just like, whatever, man, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Oh, boomer, just fucking do it. Like, don't save, just
They
jump
are
out on
all
the
in
plane.
debt. Every
Yeah,
single one of them, they're in debt.
yeah, they're like they're talking about like how like they're like in college but they're still going like on these like fantastic vacations because they're like, what's $1,000 more if I'm already 80,000 in debt? And I'm like, Jesus. Like, this is no way to live. Children, get out of debt, but that's just me,
Fuck the 401k. Fuck my future. I'm going doing this
yeah,
now while I'm young and beautiful.
that's right. I'm old and ugly, so I'm looking. I'm looking at laptops. That's where I'm at, and I'm
Right.
worried, like just like future proofing, like my purchase. I know like some laptops have like components and shit you can switch out, but they've tried that with like cell phone. Nobody ever picks up like a new standard. I also saw the NVIDIA keynote, so I watched that. It definitely seems like by the end of this year, like they're going to be putting out some new shenanigans. Like they're
Intel's new Nvidia's new factory as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the real game changers from them are coming with like AI. Like, how come nobody's worried about that? They're building like a new AI factory that's like 8 times the biggest one in the world right now, which is owned by a private government. So I don't know, man. I think with like GDP 3, like the text recognition software, it's gonna be a huge game changer. I think image recognition. I think I've been watching like stuff from there's this YouTuber called like 2 Minute Papers, and he like goes through like all these like breakthroughs in AI, and they have one where it's GTA 5, and then they
Yeah.
use like real world images, and then they're playing it at like 5 frames a second, but it overlays what the computer thinks a real world image would be over like the 3D graphics, and it looks like like a movie. Like they're like looks like they're recording like a movie, but also that movie looks like it was shot in like 1995 on home VHS. But it because like it goes to real world colors, and like you don't realize like how much color correction goes on in a video game to like make them pop and look like crispy, whereas like the real world like shot on films like more bland, especially if it hasn't been color graded or treated at all.
Yeah.
But that's at 5 frames a second right now. So in my head, I'm like, in 8 years, that's going to be at like 50, 60 frames a second. Like it's going to be indistinguishable. And I've seen people being like worried about like the opposite of the uncanny valley, where they're like, I don't want a game necessarily that real. I see a lot of people complaining like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, so as far as my laptop buying decision, I think by the time it matters, there'll be a technological leap.
Yeah.
Especially if you're looking at like what NVIDIA's doing with like Glory and stuff. I think with AI designing their own chips, they're gonna do some voodoo there. I think, and
Yeah.
I think the bigger breakthroughs are going to come through in compression, just like how, because we send so much data. If you can like get that in half, or have the
Compression
ability,
stagnated recently after I
yeah,
think the 7-zip boom. Because for a while, WinZip, WinRAR were the standard, and then there was another one that I can't remember that besides WinRAR, it was like a white and blue icon. I can't remember which one that was, but there was another compression program that was
there was a
around.
lot of them. I got
Yeah,
into one that was like from like a college, and it used like quantum computing to shrink documents. This was back in 97, 98.
yeah, yeah. So
And it would take things that were like a gig big and like shrink them down to like a megabyte. Like it was insane, but it took 12 hours to do. So, and like it took like another 12 hours to uncompress. But I'm saying like computing power, like could, theoretically get that down to like seconds. So
yeah. Let's say, and for everyone listening, Chip's definitely exaggerating, but but yeah. No, something like that, right? And then 7-zip, which is amazing and free, is still to this day the best like file compression tool I've ever used. It's
yeah,
incredible. Um, it's one of those things, this age old thing of a lot of like MP3s, right? They're already compressed. Like it's
yeah.
MP3s are a compression method, so it's like,
Say
how do you
that now,
compress a
dude.
file that's already compressed? That's like the big thing. It's like it's already down as small as it can be. The thing
Bro,
with like
you say that now till you use like the .ogg, bro, and then all of a sudden it's like you're getting like a tenth of the size.
right. No, that's what I was.
Them OGG files, bro.
Right, but then there's a difference in like how OGG
Quality.
playback works and
Yeah.
quality and things like that. So it's like you're always fighting the size versus quality, and external compression is it, I believe it is stagnant right now, but there's some stuff like on the cusp of like the next decade or so that could be huge. I think that that's a good thing to touch on, Chip. And modern day gaming is kind of going to push that along because games are getting bigger and bigger. Hard drives, like what does Call of Duty Warzone take up now? I think they actually compressed it recently. So, but at
Well,
the
like
height of its
80
powers,
gigs
it
or
was
something.
over 200 gigs
Yeah.
for one game, which is fucking ridiculous. So, compression obviously over in the house of Activision, now owned by Xbox, is is a pipe dream. So hopefully, Warzone 2, when that engine comes out, the compression is a big part of it. So we'll
Yeah.
see. I'm actually impressed with what we have now in terms of speed for gaming. I think was it Unreal Engine 4 was probably the worst of it, Unreal Engine 3 or 4, because you see certain games that used that pipeline where it takes forever to do an update because it has to update the entire it uncompresses, updates the file, compresses, then revalidates everything. So, for example, updating like Dead by Daylight, a popular game, can take up to like 2 hours or an hour, depending on like how old your computer is, just because of decompressing, compressing, and redoing everything. Like, so they could have like a 1 megabyte update, but it has to validate 38 gigs.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where like sometimes I'll just uninstall a game and re-download it because that's faster than updating
Yeah.
it. Where I'm just like, I don't have time for this, but it's faster to just re-download and reinstall a lot
Yeah,
of that
yeah,
stuff. I don't
exactly,
know, man.
exactly.
So I don't. I think like 8 years out, by the time because like what I tend to do is buy like better end stuff. Like even this desktop's better than and
Yeah,
when I buy was like a top end PC. Now it's probably like towards the lower end PC. Uh, and I think what I'm getting is like a mid range laptop. I think the shelf life on laptops tend to be less. But
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
thinking by the time it matters, I think there'll be a technological advancement. That's what I'm betting on.
And then you'll just jump in on the next tech advancement. Okay. Okay.
I don't know if I'll jump in on it, but there'll be one.
So I'm guessing
I
you're going to
think,
use it as a desktop replacement then. So you'll still use your
yeah,
monitor, your keyboard, your mouse, all that, and then laptop will be
you know,
just tucked somewhere
I'll
else.
yeah, I'll get like a docking station or something to.
Got it.
I don't know,
Got
like
it.
even like my this whole setup's it's massive, you know, because I've always had a big ass desktop PC. But if I could shrink everything down, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's also form factor too. Like I use a mid tier, like mid size PC. Always, I think the like really large ones are just too much. For
Yeah,
any use. I know I have a buddy who just buys giant ass cases and stuff. I'm like, dude, you don't even use any of that space. It's just big for no reason, And we have on the other end of it the professor who uses a small form factor ITX case, right? So,
yeah. The
um,
micro ATX.
yeah, exactly. So
So
this
small.
two sides of it. So yeah, dude, that's exciting. That's exciting. As far as me right now, I don't have any big updates. I think as in terms of gaming or anything else, just been working my ass off of the day job and just taking it chill lately, just trying to unwind, get everything. Because like I said, like we said in the last pod, it's spring. Like I
Yeah.
can go outside again. It's been good. It's been good. Gaming updates will happen. I got some time off coming once again. Just unwind and stuff. I had to deal with some real life stuff like some car repairs and stuff, which just was a kick to the stomach.
Yeah, man. You're like,
But that happens. That happens.
yeah.
So the biggest news I think that came out, and by the time this episode will come out, the second episode is out. The Halo TV series came out. First episode at the time of recording. Episode 2 will be out when everyone's watching and listening to this. I will say the first episode I'd grade a C. It was the opening action scene was done pretty decent.
Was there? What was the time to Master Chief?
About 10 minutes. About 10.
That's
It's about
pretty
5
long.
before shit happens. They just did a little exposition opening, and then Covenant were already like raiding this
Do they look good?
rebel
Does the
outpost.
Covenant look good?
Yes and no. They
Oh,
look good in silhouette and like from further away, but then when they get to the point where they're visible and they're fighting things, they look fake. But also it's a TV show for a streaming service. Yes, they spent 10 million per episode, which is insane. But
yeah.
I think outside of like a giant movie budget, we were always gonna get like it's gonna look good but not great, And I would say it hit some of the good points, some of the high points for me as a Halo fan. Where it faltered, I think is suffered because I am a fan. The Halo theme made a little appearance towards the end of the episode. We get the monk chanting and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think the like people go, oh, the Chiefs. It's not the Steve Downes voice for the Chief, right? I'm okay with that actually. I think Pablo Schreiber is actually doing a very good job of filling those shoes of the Chief. His voice is a
Yeah.
little gruffer, a little like more generic military man, which I mean, that's what Chief could have been anyway. So I don't
That's what
mind
he
that.
is. Any man.
The Spartans look really good in life.
Okay. Are they like? Is it practical effects? Or are they doing like CGI for?
It seems practical. Like real armor and stuff. The armor weighs 50 pounds. Yes, so
Okay. Yeah.
that's the like when they're walking and everyone's fucking huge. So like how they describe the Spartans, how Spartans are displayed in the game. It works in life. Like they look like these fucking monolith human beings that are just like could be robots. They're not, but they look cool. But I think the thing that was a little disappointing is in when you're playing Halo in the action scenes, you're used to the Halo soundtrack, right? Kicking in there's a certain style of music that's prevalent in Halo, and the action scene in the show was like a typical TV score / movie score where it's like an orchestral arrangement that was meant for excitement, but it is bland. Not having music inspired, but like I don't need the game music, right? I think obviously if you're adapting a video game, to the non-video game fans, it could come across as being hokey. But my argument is Halo has always elevated itself beyond typical video game soundtrack, for the uneducated people to sound like it's from an orchestra,
Yeah,
I think
cinematic.
like Nobuo Uematsu from the Final Fantasy world does the same thing where these songs are fucking bangers. They're not like chiptune things where like highbrow people are poo pooing it. I don't get me wrong. I think people in gaming do a fucking fantastic job, and it's a legit art form. But you know how TV critics and just the general public is about anything gaming related. They think it's lower class than anything else. Which coming across the Halo reviews, people seem to think that they're like, oh, another video game adaptation. One, fuck them. Every reviewer who came out and saying that, I read some of the reviews, and you can tell they've never played any of the games beyond like reading the back of the box or reading a quick synopsis. And I was just making myself mad reading this because after being a fan of the game, they're like, oh, this follows the game beat for beat. Fuck no, it doesn't.
Right.
Fuck no, it doesn't. So I will say, anyone interested in the Halo show, first up, it's fine at the moment, but we're going off one episode. It has 9 episodes for this season, and I think that it's going to get better and better. It's portraying the UNSC as like a shadowy kind of corrupt figure, which is in the games, but it's in the books more, and I think that is very interesting. Cortana, how she looks, I still don't agree with, but that's a show decision, and they're using Jen Taylor's voice, so she'll sound like Cortana. And let's be honest, you're going to hear Cortana more often than you're going to see her, I feel, when the chief actually has her plugged in. So that'll be fine, or we'll just get used to it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or maybe in the show midway through she goes, I don't want to look like this, and then snap, and then look like herself. So that's
cool. Now you're dreaming, bro. That's not gonna happen. Like,
right. But yeah, dude, I think that just the only thing really missing, like the episode itself, when it went after the big action scene, it was a little, why I rated a C is it was a little exposition heavy and just a lot of just people talking in a room. So that was really it. And
you gotta set it up, right?
You do have to set it up, but other mediums have done it better. I think they felt too ham-fisted to introduce the world in one episode versus letting it grow naturally over time.
I mean, you either do that or you do like the even worse is like an origin story where it's like, all right, we're at training camp with
I would actually
Spartans.
be okay with that personally.
Yeah. You do like the Universal Soldier type of intro where they're like training in some weird future camp to make these super soldiers. Yeah.
Because if they're good, let's be honest, Halo isn't the most original property.
Clandestine.
A lot of it works well because of cliche. You can look at the Halo game and see that's inspired by aliens. That's inspired by Starship Troopers, right? Like any of these big fucking the assault on the control room level is fucking inspired by fucking Saving Private Ryan. It's like these things exist and then the games do it, and then you like that. I'm okay with that. It's not completely original, but I'm okay. Overall though, give it a C. I would say wait a couple episodes before jumping into it, just to give yourself time. And just to let the show kind of spread its wings a little bit.
Kind of like rings, do you? Like a Sonic.
Did I say rings? Yeah, no, spread your wings. Spread your wings. Yeah. That was misspoke by me.
Just always thinking about Sonic in the back of your head.
Well, I got Robotnik behind me, so ready to fight him. Yeah, man. So let's get into it, dude. I think it's time. So something we mentioned last week that we spoke a little bit about, but Chip didn't have the experience. So as everyone knows, and as Chip knows, he got VR last week. That's right, there bro. He is in the cyber world.
I'm in the cyber world now, dude.
down, whatever cyber music you need.
Damn.
So
who did the
week
assault
1, how
on?
you feeling?
Who did the assault on Precinct 13? You know what
John
I'm talking
Carpenter.
About? Yeah, get that John Carpenter Sith soundtrack going, boys.
Yeah, dude. That actually, I'm editing this one, so we might do a little stinger there. Just like fuck the algorithm, dude. They can demonetize us. It's not like we're making money off this. Just get the little assault in the control room or assault on precinct.
Sue me for what? No, they'll throw commercials in it that we didn't ask for.
That's true. That's true.
Get John Carpenter paid, dude. He did all of his own.
I'm okay with that. That dude. Yeah, he did all the shit. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Let's get off topic.
I don't know. He seems like one of the directors that people hate in Hollywood for some reason. I don't know if it's because he makes.
He's he's in talks with Kurt Russell again to do Escape from New York 3. You know, it's
All
like
right,
Escape
where are
from New
they
York, Escape from
escaping?
LA. They're doing Escape from Earth.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in. Earth's become a prison planet, like in the
Yes,
end of
yes,
the one with Jet
100%.
Li.
100%. 100%.
Just have the crossover with Jet Li, where they're on the prison planet
Of
from
that from the
the
one.
one. Yeah, and I have to escape from that. I'm down for that.
Right, right.
Yeah,
All right,
week
off
week
topic.
one. Escaping from that fucking conversation. We did Kurt Russell, dude. Yeah, man. Week one in VR has been pretty good. I did get like some of that basic motion nausea. I wouldn't say like sickness. Like at no point did I feel like I was gonna hurl, but there was like points where I was like, "Ooh, I feel like a little uneasy." Like my equilibrium felt a bit off. I was like, I need to take this headset off for a bit and take a break because I'm an adult. I realize like I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna just tough this out. Fuck it. Like, oh, I'm starting to feel kind of sick. Maybe I won't feel kind of sick if I keep on powering through this. It's like, no, I'm just gonna take a quick break here. Like, this is fine.
A lot of people take it as the 21 shot salute from for your 21st birthday for sure.
They're like, I feel a little bad. I'll just get used to this. This is blah. Like it's over. Nah, I don't know. Like the game will still be there. Just pause it, take a break. Look off into the distance as you're supposed to do from like any computer screen. Like if you're getting any sort of eye strain. I did order some lenses. I have some corrective lenses for that pop onto the Oculus now. I made that jump. That's how much I'm enjoying it. Where I'm like, you know what? Fuck wearing glasses in this headset. I'm just gonna go
right to the prescription lenses.
Yeah, yeah.
Prescription. That's dope. Okay, you really enjoyed it. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Okay.
Okay. I don't know, but the problem is they all come from like the same factory, so they take like 2 to 3 weeks depending on where you get it from. Yeah, that's fine.
Wow. Okay.
I'm having no trouble with the glasses in there, but I've heard people worry about like scratching lens against lens, and these are like not anti-glare lenses, as you can tell from like the power with the lights shining on them.
Right.
So yeah, I got the anti-glare ones and stuff, but those were only $80, which it's a bit much, but it's not crazy. I think some people will be like, this is my other problem with technology. So when LASIK came out, I was like, damn, this seems awesome, but it was like 5 G's an eye to like fix your eyes. And I was like, oh, it'll go down in price. It'll get better and more convenient. And now I see people like, saying like, oh, you get LASIK done for like a couple $100 now, but now it's so cheap that I'm like, there's gotta be something wrong with it. Like, there's surely that you can't get it that cheap, but yeah. So I don't know. I've been debating just like going and get lasers done to my eyes, just shoot them,
It's interesting. I've seen you without like rocking without glasses, right? I've as long as I've known you, I've always known you with glasses. You are like a completely different person without.
Yeah, it's like Clark Kent, Superman.
Yeah, exactly,
situation.
exactly. You wonder how like Superman ever got away with it, dude. Like when you know a person with glasses for so long, like dude, I'd have to double take truthfully.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, like seeing your brother Professor with glasses, I'm like, because like if it's from the side of my face and you guys both have beards, I need a double take because you guys already looks, you're related.
Twinsies.
So like, nope, yep. So
yeah, man.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, all the games have been pretty great, but there's been like 6 years of VR out there now to choose from.
Yes,
so
yes.
I've also become the person who will watch other YouTube video like top 10 lists now to like quickly pick out and try new things. Yes. So I started doing that for like comic books because I've read so many of like the top tier, top shelf stuff. I'm like, what else is out there? Other people have different tastes. Maybe, there'll be some good suggestions on here. And the beautiful thing about YouTube is like you can see like basically like a mini commercial for like the games. And you should be able to be like, oh, that looks interesting to me, and I'll pick that up.
Yes.
I've been looking for like a good RPG game. The one that's out there is like Iris, you know what I'm talking about? It's like a weird hentai game.
yeah. It's the traditional one. There's a couple I can link you after.
That looked okay. That isn't like my only hang up is like it's hentai, and I'm like, that's kind of weird, but like it seems like the only RPG game in town. There's the other like dungeon crawler one that you were telling me about, but it seems like we need 4 people to like. It's like a Diablo-esque, dungeon
Legendary
crawler.
Tales. Yeah. It's still in early access as well. But those guys are like it's definitely Diablo inspired, but they're doing a fantastic job. There's obviously like if because do you want like a more JRPG stint? Because I think the Hentai game is really the only game in town.
Downtown.
Yeah, but Skyrim, of course, Fallout
That
4.
I don't know about fucking Skyrim, dude. Like it's just I don't have enough free time for that shit, dude. Like I've always
Yeah, but you have enough free time for another RPG.
yeah, because like another RPG is like a nice 30, 40 hour experience. Whereas like Skyrim with all the mods and shit, you're looking at like the rest of your life. I know people have sunk like 5,000 hours into that game, dude. Like, and they're like, yeah, I'm just getting into it.
It's like 30 hours, So I mean, you also use screaming Fos Roda in real life to use the ability. I mean, that's kind of an immersive thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also $60. It's like one of the few VR titles that are like full price. And I'm like,
bitch, I can get it to you cheaper.
All right, but I'm like, bitch, that game's been out for like fucking almost like 10 years now, 15 years. And you want like full price? And it's like, all right, have you like, I don't even think it's like the high definition definitive edition that they did like a few years back. I think it's like the basic ass bitch Skyrim. They're like, have basic Skyrim, but now VR support.
That's the beauty of Skyrim, though. It's so moddable that you could get the there's high definition texture pack and all that shit.
Yeah. So. I don't know. Fuck Bethesda. Even,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's the only problem. Because like you're right, it seems like a great RPG. It is really the only game in town, like on VR, that's out there. It's like a full experience, and it's like a full, 60-hour like AAA experience that you're gonna get. But it's like AAA from like a decade ago, and it shows, man. It shows. I have the same problem with Resident Evil 4 because that came out in VR, and I'm like, so yo, didn't you lads get the HD texture pack that the community did? That's out there. You can put that in there. You can get like the Resident Evil Definitive Edition, like high definition mod that all the kids did. That they spent their entire life like going like in Europe, going to location, like painstakingly re-putting together these horrible texture packs. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
So the Resident Evil one, they actually went in and did upgrade some things.
I couldn't tell.
It's not to the point. But field of view definitely got better. They actually went in and updated a lot of the game and then rebuilt it from the ground up for VR, and it targeted the Quest 2 as well. So you're not going to get PC fidelity because obviously the Quest 2 uses a mobile chip. But
this is the biggest problem.
I think you're discounting the work that Capcom and
that goes into
Meta did. In
how hard
Resident Evil VR.
Would it have been to like port over the textures though? Because textures aren't that much more intensive. Like to go from like those shitty muddy textures to like a nice 4K resolution. Like it's just.
Did you play the demo?
No, I didn't even touch that game because I was just out of principle. I was just like, I don't want to do this. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to play it again on PC. Like
so here's the thing with Resident Evil 4 VR. The big thing with that game when it came out on flat screen is the location based damage. You can kneecap people and then do that. Doing that in VR, dude. It's a different feel, dude. It's a different feel for sure.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different, man.
The game's built different,
and the fact that it's 100% one of the greatest games of all time, and then you doing it yourself, I feel it's a new enough experience. I don't own a Quest 2, so that's an experience I can't play yet in VR unless someone mods like a PC version or something. But I think you're discounting some of the fact that it's a new experience with an already a game that's already considered a classic. So I
a new old experience. It's like Skyrim VR.
Like for me, replaying through Quake, the original Quake in VR, was a completely new experience. And of course, I jumped into it when Bethesda came out for Quake's 20th anniversary and said, "Hey, here is a new map pack for you." So I mean, I got updated stuff too. But I
was
Quake
more
in VR
interested in
the new experience
in Doom VR, the OG original Doom VR. Have you seen this?
Are you saying the 2016 one? Or are you saying like
no, like the original?
One? Yeah,
the 90s.
I have that. I haven't tried it yet because I wanted to complete Quake first. But what's funny, dude, is I think I've mentioned this on the pod before. If not, I'll just do it again. I distinctly remember a conversation with my dad when I first played Doom in my life. It was like 95 95, I want to say, when my family first got a computer. Um, Back then, keyboard mouse controls weren't a thing. So I was playing Doom with a joystick, Microsoft Sidewinder. So I'm going through, and 95, I was 6. So I'm going through. The monitor was like a 24-inch monitor, maybe, because it was one of the bigger ones at the time. It's a tube monitor. I'm little. I'm pushed up to the computer screen. I'm playing Doom, and it's really fast going. And I'm like, whoa, this looks so real, right? And I was like, Dad, do you
Yeah.
think? And my dad's like, yeah, computers, like, things go real fast with it. Like, it's gonna look way better next year and the year after that. He's like probably in like 10, 20 years from now, we'll be inside of Doom. And I was like, that'd be amazing. Fast forward, dude. Fast
You won't
forward.
even put it on your head, dude. You don't even want to play the OG Doom. You're like, that shit looks like a
No.
child's toy.
Oh no, dude. I
You're like,
so the OG Doom is one of my favorite games ever, and I will replay it all the time. Like, my sister and I very recently replayed through the OG Doom co-op.
yeah.
So I mean, it's a nostalgia game. It's a great game, but I'm combining that with the Brutal Doom mod in VR. So and we can play it co-ops if you're interested once you get your VR legs, because Doom is fast as fuck.
Yeah.
Once you get your VR legs,
All the
dude, let me
Dooms.
know. Let me know. We'll run through it together in VR, dude. It'll
Yeah.
be fun.
So I don't know. It just seems like a weird cash grab right now, like in VR, where it's like a lot of just ports of like older titles. Because so this is what I like about the Quest too. Is like it's so accessible. It's very affordable. And what I hate about it though is like it's the best selling VR. So everyone's
Yes.
making like these like shitty fucking games like just for the
Yes.
headset. And that is the worst way to play VR. Like the only thing like on there native that I enjoyed is the table tennis game 11.
Yep. Yep.
And then I think you can get Super Hot directly on there, but I bought that on Steam, so I have to use the link cable.
Yeah.
And after the last Oculus software update, the Steam VR doesn't work right now.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's like it's been giving me shit. Like whenever I try and open it back up, it's like it crashes now. Like it doesn't like boot into like the home screen and stuff. It's like there's
You
some
had it for a
fuckery
week.
afoot. No, there's
How-
definitely some software because it was working perfectly fine
Yeah.
all week long. Hit the update and it was like, nah, you can't use Steam anymore from Oculus. You fuck. And then
You're using AirLink, right? Or is this with the link cable?
both. Yes, this is like
Okay.
if I use AirLink or the cable because like I was like maybe it's AirLink, so I like switched out. The other problem with AirLink because it's an experimental feature. If you want to go back to the cord, because if you're not using like the best router in the world, like you get like the micro stutters, the jitters,
Okay.
which is incredibly noticeable in VR.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna plug in the matrix here.
One sec. You went. There you go. Okay. There's like a lag hiccup, and I lost your voice. Go ahead. I think you're good.
Hello.
Yep. There we go. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so any micro stutters and stuff in VR, you're gonna notice you're gonna have a bad time. And the AirLink just isn't quite ready for prime time yet, I think.
Do you
I
think
think
it's your router?
I think it's just streaming video isn't quite there yet where it needs to be, like streaming like the whatever it is, like the 2i VR. Because like even when I'm using the YouTube VR, like that has issues. If I'm streaming my Xbox, because that's the premium feature that you can't get natively. Like this, the other problem with Oculus is like their walled garden experience. So there's no fucking apps on that thing. Like you can't get your Xbox, streaming going, but you can if you sideload it.
Yeah.
You get like any other video players except for like what they provide you, which is like big screen mode. And then they're like, all right, now you gotta sign into your Netflix or Amazon VR account. I'm like, I don't want to do that shit. Yeah, I don't know. Like even just streaming like video from that, there's like you can notice little stuff if you're looking for it from the Oculus. Like it's good, like but it's
Right.
not where it needs to be for VR. Like
So I will say that those with AirLink it favors more modern routers with 5G. Like, yes, your router may support 5G, but what generation of 5G does it support? That's the big question. AirLink definitely favors a certain thing. If you have Wi-Fi 6, good God, does that work? It's even better. Um, so I will say, like, that's why the majority of people in Oculus tend to gravitate towards Virtual Desktop, which is a premium third-party program. But these guys have been working on streaming since 6 years of VR. So they have 6 years of streaming built up, and it's a better experience. So I think if you're right now using Virtual Desktop over AirLink is the way to go. Because especially if you have an older router, or if it's not Wi-Fi 6 or anything like that, like they're definitely. And Chip, I'd suggest if you are pursue, like when you get like the extended battery and stuff for your Quest, just get a Wi-Fi 6 router. You'll
Make the
notice
investment.
improvements. Yeah, make the investment, or just get Virtual Desktop if you're not going to do it. But I think
I have no
if you're like
problem
me and
just
you're
being
enjoying
plugged
VR
in,
as
bro.
much, just wait till you play a little more active games, dude. Like I thought that too, and then once I started playing, like I think it was popular. No, Until the Fall was the game that made me crave a wireless option. That game is a roguelike melee action game, and you have to turn around a lot just because shit's coming behind you and stuff. And I was getting tangled up in the cords, and I'm like, fuck this. And then getting into Population 1 as well, flying around, just capping people in a BR mode. Spinning around, getting tangled in the cord was a little much. And granted, I wasn't in a position to yank my computer off the desk or whatever, but some people are, and I'm like, wireless. But
So
after
I gotta
going
get
wireless,
the
dude,
laptop, bro. Think about it.
after going wireless, dude, I can't go back. I never want a cord attached to me anymore.
I put my laptop in a backpack. I hooked that up to my VR, bro.
How hot would that be, though? Right?
Oh,
It would
dude,
be so hot. Oh
I
man,
mean, yeah. I don't know. Like so far, the native Oculus is the worst VR experience you can have, and you wouldn't know that unless you
you
plug
use
to a
PC
computer.
VR, right?
Yeah, yeah. Use your PC VR. Even hooking it up to the Xbox, dude. Like, I got the app, just the regular Xbox app that you get on your cell phone. You can sideload that onto your headset with whatever side quest.
Yep.
And then you log into your Xbox XRS, dude. Like playing like Forza Horizon, like in your face. Playing Halo Infinite. Like that was, I felt like Master Chief, bro. Like it was so good. And that's the other thing. Like as I was playing that, I was like, Xbox could easily get into the VR game and like take this shit over. Like because like the Xbox is so good. I don't know. Like I say that, but I don't think like PlayStation VR sells very well. And like they also have like some first party games. I don't know if they have the streaming down because I have the PlayStation Pass and that doesn't do streaming well at all for PC. So I can't imagine them doing like a streaming from their console. It seems like Xbox already has this built in where like I'm streaming just one from the PC to my headset and like it just works. It's like magic.
PlayStation VR, it's a cord connected to your PlayStation and PC, so there's no streaming involved. Their PSVR 2 looks incredible. I think it's a good thing that PlayStation's doing it, just so we have more living room presence for VR. And the Quest, I think the issues you mentioned are definitely there, and so without ruining things, I think that connected to PC VR, like having a PC plus a Quest is probably the best way to go because you'll have every game available. With the Quest's internal resolution isn't as good as anything, like a Valve Index or a Cosmos, but you're gonna get.
If I was rating it, I would say like PC VR, then like Xbox SRX, like streaming to your Oculus, so the next best. And then if you have like none of those options, and you just have like your Quest, dude, like I think it's gonna become a paperweight really fast. I can see why a lot of people are like, yeah, I have one, but I was just kind of sitting on the sidelines right now. I'm waiting for shit to come out.
I also think that people don't get into it as much. It's definitely at the point where it's throwaway money. It's like a cool party thing. Like
it's like a Wii.
I think for me, yeah, exactly. I think if I bought a Quest, I liked VR so much that I would have definitely already upgraded to a higher end headset. I just jumped into a higher end headset because I in my mind I thought, why I was like, I think I'm gonna love this. You know, it was just one of those
Yeah.
feelings where I'm like, I think I'll love it, and I did.
I went into it blind. Like I've never had any VR experiences, and like I was like, I'm just gonna dip my toes in this shit and see.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I was still like on the fence. Like have been an enthusiast for that's like the full disclosure. I've been like an enthusiast since like the old the DK1 dev kits that the before pre-Carmack involving like when they were doing the Kickstarter. I was looking at that shit. I saw it on the Tested podcast back when it was just Will and
back in like
Norm.
2013, right?
Yeah, and they had it like early access when it was like just the board super glued onto some cardboard. They're like figuring it out. So it's like, damn, that looks interesting. Like, because they're talking big, and I was like, damn, if these guys like it, it's probably good. Yeah. Like, you know, fast forward now, it's like 8 years after that, where it's now a consumer product, and it's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, dude. We're getting to the tail end of the pod here. We have some time left, but I want to definitely delve into this topic. With your 1 weekend, what are your top 3 games played and a game that you're looking forward to?
I would say like Half-Life Alyx. I've been slowly beating that. And like I said, like I take breaks from VR. So I play till I get to like a checkpoint, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this off for a little bit just to get it off my head, get some air. So it goes like Half-Life Alyx. And then I've been streaming from Xbox S. So I'll play some Halo Infinite on there, or Forza Horizon. Forza, amazing in VR, dude. Like, and like I would say,
racing
like
games lend themselves very well to VR.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
I would say go into the options if you're streaming the games, because you can change like the FOV, and that's field of view.
Yep.
So like the default game field of view isn't going to be the best experience, but like you widen it out and like you make the screen bigger than like your screen. It's damn close to like a VR. Like you're like, all right, I don't have the depth in there, but it is really close. Like I can look around. Like this is insane.
Do you own Dirt for Steam? Like any of the Dirt games?
I think so. Maybe
they all support VR. And you said you had a racing wheel, right? Or were you thinking about getting one?
I was thinking about getting one. This what got me to the VR.
Okay. So if you get one, you can literally go turn to the side and then look out your window and shit, dude. That shit's fucking crazy. I want a racing wheel just for that.
I thought I told you the story of how I ended up with the Oculus, where I was like, I was looking at because I bought the Thrustmaster for my Xbox for playing Ace Combat. Yeah. And then I was like, I didn't buy the one with the foot pedals because that was like $100 more. So I just bought like the top half of it. So I was looking at the foot pedals now, and like just to buy the foot pedals, they want like $90 for it. And I was like, damn, that's kind of expensive. But then it was like recommending me racing wheels. And I was looking at racing wheels, and I was like, racing wheel, I could get one of these for like $180, $200. But if I did that, I want the stand with that. So like, all right, now I'm in like the $300 territory. And I was like, fuck, I should just buy the Oculus I've been thinking about getting instead of all this shit. Then I just bought the Oculus. Like,
okay,
it slowly crept up from like a series of bad decisions where I was like, man, I need to
dope.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Half-Life Alyx, Xbox, Forza.
Yeah, Forza Horizon. The other games I've been playing is Super Hot. I think that's the other one I'll play. Like, I wish I had bought that stand. This is the other bigger problem, I think, with the Oculus Walled Garden. So if I buy a game on just the VR, like they don't even have cross-play with their own app on the PC. So you have to buy the game twice unless it has both versions of the game, which is why I bought Tabletop Tennis there. Everything else I've been buying on Steam. So I bought like Super Hot. Or you gave it to me, I think.
Yeah, I gave that to you.
It was a beautiful gift.
Of other games, thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, Super Hot. I've been streaming that because like you definitely need like the hands-free wireless experience for that. Like I'll be in my living room playing that. It's also a game that's perfect for like those little stutters, like because it doesn't bother you too much because like time moves only when you move, man. So if like the game glitches a little bit on you here and there, like it's not as noticeable. It's not real time. It doesn't give you like a woozy stomach from like everything shaking where you're like, it feels like my eyeballs are being pierced by needles. So Super Hot's great. What I'm looking forward is that the game I got for you, that Demio.
Yeah. That's been on my mind for a long time, but and I told you this, and I've shared this with the pod too. One of my big reasons for being such an advocate of VR is I love it, but I have no one to play it with that I know. Like
Yeah.
a big part of growing a platform and getting other people on it is to get your friends involved, right? Like I loved going to the arcade as a kid. You know what I loved even more? Going to the arcade with friends as a kid. I
Yeah.
loved playing, N64. I loved playing like games that required more people, and I think the more people you get, the better environment you have. So, Demio is a top-down, like tabletop RPG kind of hybrid thing where the level moves with you. I think that it's a great purchase. I'm really looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. I would say overall too, like you have to be very competent with computers even to have an enjoyable time with your Oculus Quest at this
If
point.
you're using PC VR, right? Because I think
Yeah.
like it's
I would
made for people who aren't enthusiasts, right? But it's there if you want to.
No, I would say like if you want like the worst experience with the Oculus is like the native headset. Like
Yeah.
their interface is dog shit. Like the way like it loads apps is really bad. Most of the features are hidden like in experimental version, like the pass through you can't access. They have it where you can add like furniture, but you can only do that like if you have like experimental features. And the only way to do that is if like you have developer. The only way to do that is if you sign up online and then confirm that through your app to go into developer mode on your headset. So like I would say you have to be tech savvy to even get into like an enjoyable VR experience at this point.
Okay.
It's still not like pick it up and have fun with it. Like if you're just a regular person, like you have to sit through some tutorials and shit. Like even just getting like Xbox working on there, I feel like I'm a fairly smart man. I can follow instructions. That shit took me like almost an hour to get up and running, dude. Like it was a bad time. But it got working and it's great. Once it gets working, you're like, damn, it was worth it. And like it also feels like nobody has very good tutorials for anything. Like tutorials are just so much fluff and bullshit. Like you can just skip like the first 2 minutes of any video to get to what you want to get to.
Sure. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's some good VR stuff. I will say for me, what I'm looking forward to and is the experience with friends, because I'm at the point where I know what games I like, I know what games I want to play, and I'm just waiting for my friends to get their sea legs to play with me. Like we played Swords of Gargantua together, and shout out CJP Killer as well for playing with us. I had a blast, dude. Not just like hacking and slashing, which is hitting stuff is fun, but being in this world with buddies and us like doing silly things with our hands and stuff, and and just sitting around chatting it is 3D audio, is one of the most crazy immersive things. Playing table tennis yesterday was super fun, dude. Worked up a sweat. And then you could see like certain things. You're like when I spiked it, and you're all like, "Oh, dude, what the hell?" I thought this was a casual game. It's like
you see play casual rules, bro.
For sure. There's just some amazing things about it. There's some other great things too, like Creed boxing, which Thrill of the Fight everyone says is the better VR boxing game. Which sure, there's no online play though. So if you want to play against other people, Creed Boxing is the only game in town. There's some issues with it, but as like a base game, it's super fun. It's just that's one of those things where I have to redo my chaperone because I don't want to punch my wall again.
Yeah.
But that's another really good one that once you have some more VR legs, I'll probably gift you just to try out. Just just make sure your chaperones are set up and you're not going to punch your TV or anything.
I think I did that yesterday when we're playing tennis. I have to go check the living room for damages, dude.
Also in VR, when you can like your mic will pick up if you run into something or if you knock something over. So like when you hit that box, I was laughing super hard because I knew exactly what happened. But then yesterday too, my wife came into the VR room when I was playing tennis with you, and I'm pretty sure like when I returned it, I like smacked her in the side or whatever. She was like, "What the hell?" And she grabs me, and I was like, and "You should never grab anyone in VR, because it's like a different." So
it's like never wake up a sleepwalker.
Yeah, exactly. She grabbed me, and I was just like, "Oh, what the hell?" And she's like, I'm in front of you. She's like, "I'm doing my homework." I'm like, okay. So I had to. I should have moved my chaperone around actually when she was there because she like had her chair scooted up more, and where I play is like near her workstation. So I think she was like scooted back a little bit, and like she had a book on her lap, and then she had the computer in front of her. So I think, but like when you could have literally short served it to me every time, and I couldn't get it because I would have bumped into her chair. Pro tip.
All right.
But yeah, dude, I'm looking for experiences. I think I'm excited that you like VR. I'm gonna be annoying as hell for you. I know it. And my am just telling me to fuck off. But dude, I absolutely love the VR experience. I love experiencing with other people.
I would say VR games are in a weird place right now too, where I would say they're not making good VR games yet. They're making. Like,
they're
I
on
think,
the
like,
cusp, though. I think they're like true gems.
I think the problem is the immersion, and a lot of this stuff. Like, I don't want to do, man. Like I was playing like Half-Life Alyx, and like I'm shooting zombies, and like you see a movie with like the guy who panics, and you're like, oh, that would never happen in real life, bro. That was me. Like I'm shooting like a head crab. I run out of bullets. I'm like, oh shit. I pull from the back, go to load in. Oh shit, the clip's still in there. I eject the clip. I go to reload I had dropped both the ammos, bring in a new gun, pull that out, and like click, 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 click. I'm like, oh yeah, I got loaded into the chamber here. And then I start shooting them finally. Like that was me, bro. I dropped like 3 clips of ammo, like trying to shoot one monster, like panicking, looking around. Like I would say like that, like opening doors is still weird, like for me, especially if I'm trying to play sitting. Like I don't know, like even like the puzzles in Half-Life Alyx, where it's like unlocking mini games with like the bullshit.
Follow, trace the lights
like,
or whatever. And,
yeah. I was okay with it until they put like 3 of them next to each other. And I'm like, oh dude, I don't want to fucking like by the third one, I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Like I wasn't having trouble with it. I was doing them easy enough, but I was like, it just felt like I thought we were done. I thought we were past this in video games.
But you're getting to Minority Report it though, dude. You're just, you know what I mean?
That was super cool. Like the first dozen times, dude. That was super cool. The first like after that, I was like, "Fuck, one of these." And like I don't know, they're pretty gracious with ammo in that game too, especially if you have good aim. Yep. So I was like, "There's only ammo in here, but I gotta open it just to check because maybe there's some other cool shit in here I don't even know about." Like I said though, that's like one of my most played games. It's like a 10 out of 10. It's the best VR experience I've ever had, and I think everybody's. But just I don't know, man. I feel like video games. I thought we got past the mini games and like lock picking and all this shit. Like, just give me a quick video of like the door opening and stuff. Like, get me to the action. I don't want to like figure out how to reload. Just
game developers do not listen to Chip. He does not. He does not speak for all of us gamers. I enjoy the lock picking. I enjoy doing all that. But I see your point.
Nah, bro. Like, we gotta get to the meat and potatoes of games on VR, and like, I don't think anyone's there yet.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Yeah, dude. I think I personally think we are, but I'm happy we got it. It took what is this, episode 60? It took 59 episodes, 58 technically, because Chip got it last week. For me spouting on VR, saying get it, it's amazing, try it. If you want to dip your toes in, dip into the Quest 2. It's the only game in town for that price point.
Yeah,
and
I would say, I would say like Quest 2. I wouldn't recommend it if you don't know anything about computers at all. Like if like you have trouble like setting up custom stuff on your computer, don't get it. To have a good experience, like you're gonna have to sideload Quest down there. Like you're gonna think you don't need it, but at some point you're gonna need it. So just sign up for the developer account. Then but you're also taking a risk with that because they might brick your shit at any point. Who knows? I don't know. Like. It's a risky endeavor right now. I'm hoping more players come into the space, but it doesn't really seem that way. Like Unreal has no VR games on their store. I went there to just see what the offerings were. There's like 6
Steam
games.
VR is a thing. They don't want to have you doing their ecosystem. I will say this, and we're nearly out of time, so let me do this here.
Unreal still has a store, dude.
No, but Steam VR is the PC platform for playing VR, though. Like everything on PC links to Steam
if
VR.
You mean to tell me you don't think Unreal can make their own platform to like?
Yeah, but why
have a launch? Yeah, why does Oculus have one? Oculus has like their own as well, dude. Like
it's their own because they are VR though. It's like why does Burger King sell burgers, dude? Like it is what it is, man.
I mean, Unreal Engine has a very big presence in the video game developer engine. They make VR experiences.
They sure
Why not
do.
make their own launcher for their store to launch VR experiences?
Because to launch it on Steam, you need to root into the Steam VR platform, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah, but they technically don't have like when I launch a
Because you can
game
use
from my
OpenXR for it, but it uses
Yeah.
Valve base stations for most PC VR stuff. So
yeah, and that's why like my Oculus was broken now when I try to log into Steam. So I have to like mess with settings every time I want to do it now, dude. Like they're fighting like a software war.
All right. All right. So I will say, you know, I think we've had 6 years of growth in VR at this point. Growth will continue to happen, and more there are games on the cusp that are going to be phenomenal experiences. The next game I'm looking forward to myself that I haven't purchased yet is Hitman VR. People say it's a little janky, but things will update and it'll be
It's
fine.
growing, dude. I think like it's
walking around and strangling people seems amazing. You can't do that in life.
I was reading like the stats the other day. There's 10 million VR Oculus out there. There's 12 million Xboxes S and X, and then there's like I think 17 million PlayStation 5s out in the wild right now. So I mean, it's like a third of like platforms for games. It's only 8% of video game market shares because when you add in like mobile phones and everything like PC.
But if you take that 8% and realize it's been out for 6 years, that's huge growth.
Right, but like even compared to like the main heavy hitters who have been out for like a year and a half, like 2 years now, but like with supply shortages and stuff.
Yeah,
it's a drop in the bucket. I don't know. It's but 10 million is no small number. I think
it's only growing. It's growing every day, dude.
It's getting bigger.
Outside of like 2 or 3 months in a row, VR on Steam has grown every month. So but there'll be more killer apps. People will get it, and we're on the ground floor. So
what do you say?
You'll already have VR legs when when everyone else jumps on.
Did you say it needs to have like 2 or 3 killer apps for you to get?
It had it for me. Half-Life Alyx was the one game that I needed. That's my one exception because I love Half-Life so much. But right now, I believe it has 2 killer apps right now. If we're taking most fidelity, Half-Life Alyx. Definitely. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which you haven't played yet, but that is one of the craziest, like, great feeling VR games. And there needs to be one more.
Did you try
there's some ones that I think. No, I haven't done that.
I tried like the demo on that. It's people are overhyping the shit out of that game. They're like, it looks fucking amazing. I'm like, it looks okay. I don't know.
It's hard to impress Chip though, so I'll go.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I think that's the episode. Chip, welcome to VR. There will be some content coming. I'm going to Chip and I are going to play through a VR game together. I'll record it. We'll upload it to this channel as a little just little new attractions so you guys can see how we interact outside of the pod. So look for that
a little
soon.
Short episode.
Yeah, a little short one. So look for that coming soon on the YouTube. And for the Combo Wombo, I'm Mr. Gimpy. That over there, that's
Chipmunk.
You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. And like, share, subscribe. We're out of here.
We out. Peace.